Good evening, everyone. We just got out of court. It's been a really long day. I've got Kenny Rhodes down here. He sat there with us most of the day listening to everything. It was literally a long day, and we're just getting out just moments ago. So sorry about getting here so late. Got a couple of announcements to make, and then we'll try to talk as much as we can in a short amount of time about the hearing today. One is we don't want everyone to miss the parade that is this coming Saturday. And Jeanette Finneycombe's going to be a part of that with Lavoie's horse. We're going to have another team of horses, I've been told, here at the parade with a lot of the Bundy family in that wagon and team. We're welcoming people to come and join us either in the parade or come down here and set up on the street right here where we usually set up and to inform people, be a part of it. Be a part of freedom. But that's going to be at 9:45 is when the parade starts. So people need to get down here early if they want to be a part of it. As early as 7 o'clock just to get a parking spot, get set up, and bring signs, bring constitutions or whatever you can to pass out. There will still be a hearing tomorrow morning. It is at 9:30 in the morning instead of 8:30. So 9:30 tomorrow morning is going to be the detention hearing for these guys. We made small progress today. We have a lot of work ahead of us in this evidential hearing and dismissal hearing. The judge denied a couple of the motions right off the bat this afternoon when we started court, but she entertained other motions that had been filed, and there's just a ton of overpowering evidence supporting multiple cameras. We brought one witness on the stand that testified that he's seen 3 different cameras in 3 different locations surveilling the Bundy Ranch, surveilling the flagpole staging area, and also surveilling the First Amendment area. So we have a first-hand witness that's seen this camera, these cameras working and surveilling during that whole time there. The 5th of April, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, for close to a week. These cameras appear to be there surveilling these different areas. And the government has denied this for the last year and plus. It never has told the defense team that these existed. The snipers got brought up today, and the government has denied that there's snipers existed. And at one point, Mr. Myra made a point, well, it's not unlawful, it's not uncommon for a BLM officer or a federal agent to have a gun. It doesn't mean he's a sniper just because he has an AR-15. We should apply that into these shootings that just happened here in Las Vegas and in Texas. When we say a man goes in with a gun and shoots people, that they consider him a sniper. The same thing at the Bundy Ranch. These BLM officers were prone on top of high vantage points with weapons pointed at protesters or at people just there that was trying to protect the Bundy family. The Ryan Payne's attorney brought several good points up that his client, Ryan Payne, has been accused of spreading false lies about there being snipers and being this type of thing there, and we found out today that Ryan Payne told the truth all along. The reason why Ryan Payne showed up there to protect the Bundys and to be there in support of them. So there's several lies that were uncovered today by the prosecution, by Steve Myrie, and he was literally stumbling today trying to explain himself why he has told these lies for the last couple of years. So we had a good day today. We moved just very slowly forward. We like to see big leaps, but these small victories are great. It's helping the defense prepare more if we do go to trial next week. So today was a great day for the defense. Tomorrow's even going to be a better day. We've got 4 individuals here that's been in prison for over 2 years, and it's time for them to be released and go home. And that's what we're praying for tomorrow, that these men get to go home to their families, even if we move forward to trial, that they get to be home and come back every day instead of sitting in a jail cell. As some of you guys know, that Ammon and Ryan have been held at Henderson for the last 10 days. and they were not getting proper care. They didn't get ever booked into the jail, and a lot of questions have been out there the last few days of what was going on there due to the strip searches, the excessive strip searches, and the abuse there. Emmett and Ryan finally got moved back to Pahrump, to the CCA Henderson, the CCA Nevada Southern Detention Center out there. And what information I've got from them, they are thankful to be back there. They said it's horrible at Henderson. The treatment was horrible, and they are in a lot better spirits. Emmett, the day you could tell he had a shower, he had a shave, he was clean shaven, he was in clean clothes. Even if they wore jail scrubs yet, it was a totally different uniform. And Emmett looked happy. He was moving around the courtroom, waving at different people. He was all smiles today. And so was Ryan Bundy. So all 4 defendants looked well today, looked good, and they was happy. Other than that, do you remember anything else you want to say about some things in there?
Yeah, I don't think you covered it, but the FBI had cameras up, yet they wasn't recording. Somebody might have took a few notes, but they didn't record anything. Isn't that amazing?
A lot of lost information. There's days that they don't know nothing what went on, like the 6th, for instance, of April 2014. There's no information on what happened with those cameras on the day of the 6th at all. It's all missing.
Do you gentlemen find it at all plausible that a camera in 2014 would be not recording? And
it doesn't make sense. Even the judge wasn't buying it, and that's where she ordered the prosecution several things that she's ordering them to come up with by this coming Saturday at noon.
Seemed like a victory for the defense.
It does. It seems like a victory.
Yeah.
It was a great day for that.
What did you think about the one witness's testimony that we heard where he said the camera appeared to be the size of a football? Doesn't that seem quite large for a camera?
That was interesting. I'm glad you brought that up. This camera is the size of a football. And then I noticed Steve Myrie said, you said this camera is black. And he said, I didn't tell you what color it was. He said it looked like a globe or something kind of round on top. It looked silver. And he was about 5 feet from this camera, the size of a football.
And didn't Ryan Bundy describe it as having a laser on it?
He did. He said there was a laser on it and it was pointed at the Bundy Ranch.
So I wonder what a football-sized camera that's not recording with a laser on it might be up to.
Exactly. That's a good question. Some questions we're hoping to get by this Saturday.
Right. Well, so I'm here with a news outlet called Crowdsource the Truth, and part of the reason why I want to put these ideas out there is because the many thousands of people that will see this video will now be able to respond to us, and maybe someone will know what type of football-sized device with a laser on it, what it might do, what it might be. We'll find out.
Exactly. Reach out to us. We want to know what this was about.
Why do you suppose the government and the FBI and law enforcement have been so brutal in their treatment of the Bundy family?
They're trying to break them. They're trying to silence them. That's their main goal.
Why? Why them?
There's something they want, and the Bundys are setting on that out there. That ranch.
Is it uranium on the land?
I don't know for sure about that, but there's something that they want. They've shut down every rancher in Clark County. They're the last standing rancher left.
What can you say about Harry Reid?
I don't have no respect for Harry Reid. I think he's a liar, and he needs to be brought in this court himself.
He called us domestic terrorists. No, he is a terrorist. He was in our government. I think he's got out of it now, but he is a terrorist.
And for those
tell him that to his face.
For those who might not know you guys, can you just tell us who you are, if you'd like? Or?
I'm John Lamb. I'm from Montana. I've been covering all these trials, trying to report what I see as a courtroom reporter, observer in these courtrooms. I was in Oregon. I was here for the last 2 trials, and we're trying to expose this corruption.
My name is Ken Rhodes, and I stood up at the Bundy Ranch the day of the standoff. I also went to Oregon, so I've seen their tyranny. And everybody better get ready for it because they're going to bring it on all of us.
Someone in the hearing today told me that elements of the FBI that were present at the Bundy Ranch are now involved in the investigation of the shooting that took place here in Las Vegas on October 1st. Do you guys know anything about that?
I am just learning that today, and I'm trying to find out more about that. But some of the same FBI we were told today are involved in this shooting here in Las Vegas. That's what we were told today.
Involved in the investigation?
Involved in the investigation of the shooting, yes.
But if you look at him, when Lombardo was up there testifying, he had an FBI agent just staring at him there, waiting for him to say anything wrong. So Lombardo, he testified in the first trial here. He lied here, and he's lying now on the shooting in Las Vegas.
This is more, it's been bigger than just the BLM or the prosecutors here. We have FBI agents that have sat every single day in this trial from day one. They sat in the room, they testify,
Really?
They sat with the prosecution on certain days and advise the prosecution as they're asking questions.
Do you think there were
General
FBI
public
in the
that
galley there today?
Well, there definitely was. I know which ones they are.
Really?
There's multiple FBI agents that sit right among us every single day.
Really?
They've testified on the stand, so we know it for a fact.
That's
Joe
very
Willis.
interesting.
Joe Willis is an FBI agent. He's in the courtroom every single day. He's testified on the stand on every single trial here, and he sits there with the prosecution every day.
Which is against the court rule.
It's
for
against
any
the
witness.
court rule?
It's against, it's a court rule for any witness. You have to be outside,
Administrative procedure.
and then, administrative procedure,
Most witnesses are not allowed in the courtroom during trial.
Unless
gonna
they're a government witness.
Unless you're a government witness, and then you can still be in the courtroom listening to the whole trial, and then still be called as a witness.
So does it seem to you guys that the government and the prosecution is basically just doing whatever they want?
They definitely have been so far.
Absolutely.
Well, that's why it's important for us to be here and for us to cover this and get the word out to as many people as possible.
It definitely is.
That's why everybody tells you, well, the FBI's got a 95, the government's got a 95% conviction. Yeah, because they put them in these prisons, hold them for 2 years, mistreat them and wear them down. A lot of people take plea deals. They consider that a victory, that you're found guilty. You have to plead to something.
Did you ever think you'd see the United States of America that looked like this?
No, I'm 74 years old. 20 years ago, I wouldn't have believed none of this. I've been like all these fools driving them down the road out.
And one thing the prosecution wanted, Mr. Myrie wanted everyone to believe today, it's a common practice to see a video camera or a surveillance. Why are the defense team so worried about this? He said, this camera at the Bundy Ranch. We see hundreds of cameras here in Las Vegas. We're talking about 80 miles out of town in the desert.
You know
Why
what
is there?
He said that actually stuck out in my mind. He said that there's a camera that in the hundreds of thousands of acres of public land, and here's a camera. That is pretty odd.
It is. Hundreds of thousands of acres, and it's set in 5 feet from the road, which
Looking
is
at
pointing
the
straight
house.
at the Bundy Ranch.
And whoever set the cameras there are not from Nevada. So where are they from?
How do we know that?
That's what they said in there. Then
lived
we
here at
need
one
to
time.
know where they're from.
The agent that set the cameras up is no longer in Nevada. He was at the time in Nevada at the time he set the cameras up, but that right now he's not available to testify because he's no longer in Nevada. It's conveniently he's gone.
Right, he would have all the
Yes.
information.
He's in the swamp in Washington, probably.
Were those cameras live streaming, or were they just videos, or were they live streaming?
They
No,
claimed they
these-
were just live streaming, but the technology of these cameras, it doesn't make sense. The judge is not even buying
Not
it.
only that, they said it was live streaming to 3 separate locations, including a tactical operations center. Why would that not be recorded?
That's a good
That is
point.
looking for targets.
Yes.
That's looking for targets.
The camera was sending live streams, yes, to 3 different locations, not just there on the ground where the BLM was staged at. It was sent to 3 different locations. They haven't disclosed where them other locations. One of those locations could be Washington, because Washington was giving direct orders for these BLM officers or how they were impounding these cows.
Is the Bureau of Land Management controlled by the FBI?
They're controlled by the Department of Interior, which is probably FBI's involved. I don't know.
They're all involved.
Yeah.
Well, the FBI's are strong arm.
Got it.
So did the judge make any final rulings today?
She denied the first part of the motions, and then the ruling she did make was a small step for us, and that was telling the prosecution they had till Saturday at noon to give up this information to the defense team. So that's a big move for us.
Very good.
And
see, all
the
those
hearing
snipers.
tomorrow?
The hearing tomorrow starts at 9:30, and that is for a detention hearing for these 4 guys. So we're praying that they get to go home.
All those snipers have radios too, that they can, if that's live streaming, they can send that information to those snipers that we saw to say, okay, there's your target,
Yes.
take them out. And that's the only reason you would have live streaming. I'm going to tell you, that's the only reason they'd have it.
Yep. Well, we know there was at least 4 different snipers, according to the day of what happened in court. 4 different snipers surrounding the Bundy ranch. So what the Bundys were saying back there, they felt like they were surrounded, encroached upon by cameras and snipers, were true. That came out today. So we know that's a fact now. And that was withheld from the last 2 trials.
Now, someone in the live comments right now wants to know about your nephew. Is that a question for you?
My
That's
nephew.
for Brand.
Oh, for Brand.
Right there.
Oh, yes.
What's the question?
Just want to know about your nephew.
He's doing a lot better. Last time I talked to him, he can move around pretty good now. So, yeah, he's doing a lot better.
Good to hear.
In case
So anybody doesn't know, Brand's nephew was shot along with all the others that were shot here in Las Vegas.
His was 1 in a million shot.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It hit him just above the kidney, just below his rib cage. The bullet traveled directly between his rib cage and his lung, and exited out his upper chest, missing his aorta like 1 centimeter. It's 1 in a million shot.
Where was he standing?
Well, this is the interesting thing. He was at the south, more towards the southeast end of the concert area, and he was basically facing east. He had thrown his wife down when the shooting started. They saw 10 people get mowed down right next to him.
Wow.
With automatic fire. Okay? Threw her down, was keeping her down. People kept dropping around him. So he got up in like an extended push-up position to get her up, and that's when he got hit. The bullet went through, sprayed her face with blood. Okay? Threw his hand over his chest and took her, and they just took off running. His wife is Kimberly. She turned and looked at her left, just as the girl next to them took a round right directly in the face, killed her instantly. They were running northeast. They were running northeast. Mandalay Bay was behind them. Mandalay Bay, 32nd floor, what a lot of people don't know, that sits on the top of the casino lobby. That's another 60 feet. That's 380 feet up there. That's a 19-degree angle to where they were. He was at a 30-degree angle. You have 2 opposing angles. It doesn't work out. He had to be shot. He had to be shot by somebody on the ground. Somebody on the ground.
We've had multiple eyewitnesses testify that they've heard and felt shots coming from the ground.
Yes. Anyhow, he's doing fine.
Is there a picture?
Well, we're going to wrap this up here, guys. Thank you for joining us. We will be back here tomorrow at 9:30 for court. You got another question?
I do. What about Pete Santilli? Why was he let out like just a day before this mass shooting when he was scheduled to be in this trial with these Bundys?
I know several of them guys made plea deals beforehand and they was working this. They didn't want to go to trial. I don't know all the details at that time. I had not made it back here yet. I was prepared to come over here, so I really don't know the answers to all that. But
and has anybody seen him?
I haven't seen him personally because I wasn't here. But
he's not allowed to be here.
Yeah, he can't be here.
He's
Yes.
not allowed to be here.
So, well, thank you, everyone. We
have witnesses.
keep praying for us. Show up down here tomorrow. We got that parade on Saturday. We have no court, looks like, on Friday, but tomorrow we will. It's a detention hearing for these 4 guys, so show up if you can at 9:30 a.m., and we'll have you some more updates tomorrow. Thank you, and talk to you tomorrow.